fabulous friends, fans, and superstars. Welcome to Synchronicity Web TV. I am your host and your astrologer, Nadiya Shah, and this is your moment of synchronicity. Now, I'm just so excited today to celebrate with you, to talk to Rachel Schwartz. Now, actually, I don't know Rachel Schwartz personally. What happened was a lot of students of Synchronicity University have been asking for Kabbalistic astrology, and I knew that I was not the one to teach it because I didn't know enough about it. And I was so excited when the speaker series got started last year. And I knew I had a vision that I wanted to have somebody who was an expert in Kabbalistic astrology share that perspective of the sky. And so when I went online, who do I find? Like one of the main experts in the world on Kabbalistic astrology, Rachel Schwartz. And she's in the media and she's on the news and she's doing all these incredible things. And I literally felt like, I want her. I want her at my school. My students are going to love her. And so now I actually get to sit down with her for the very first time. I'm talking to her, this lioness looking goddess of a woman, Rachel Schwartz. Rachel, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I have to say something about what you said, that even though you are an amazing teacher and an amazing astrologer, it's important for us to understand that every soul, no matter if you do Vedic, Kabbalistic, any kind of conventional astrology, our soul as humans, your soul brings only what you have to bring into this world. So no matter who you are out there, remember that you will bring your unique soul's interpretation to everything that you do with astrology. So, that's why it's nice to hear different people speak, which I think is an amazing thing that you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. And I just felt those words so deeply in my heart. And I think that's one of the gifts that we give people as astrologers is we help them to glimpse some of that mystery as to what that unique contribution could be. So let me just very quickly remind people, let people know, Rachel is going to be speaking at Synchronicity University in May as part of the May Speaker Series of 2021. And right now, this is publishing in the last days of April until the end of April. It's choose your tuition rate as low as just $5 a class at synchronicityuniversity.com. And Rachel is one of really a world-renowned astrologer, but it's amazing that this time we got so many wonderful astrologers. So you can check that out at synchronicityuniversity.com. And so, yes, as I mentioned, Rachel is going to be teaching on Kabbalistic astrology. What can you tell us about the connection between astrology and the Kabbalah?
Okay, so first of all, we need to know that it's a historical thing. Kabbalah or Kabbalistic astrology was established in the time of Abraham, the patriarch. It's that old. We're talking about more than 5,000 years. And the whole idea is that, there's even a very famous story how Abraham discovers astrology, and then the creator tells him, you can look at astrology as a force that you're under, that you're influenced by, or you can look at astrology as a tool actually to be above that influence. And Abraham, the patriarch, who was, the first Kabbalist, he wrote the Book of Formation, which is the first writing on Kabbalah. He was the person that actually started the understanding of, even though, yes, we have that energy and we can be influenced by it, Kabbalah and generally the Kabbalistic astrology is all about being above that influence. And this is the connection. The connection is that Kabbalah, the word Kabbalah it has a meaning. It means in Hebrew, receiving. So Kabbalistic astrology is how do we receive from the planets, from the stars, how do we receive the most tools that we can have to improve our lives, to improve ourselves, to improve our relationships, to improve every aspect of our lives, and actually to understand our purpose.
And so, what are some things that you're going to be talking about in your class? Because I know that you're going to be teaching on lunar astrology, your life's lessons through the eyes of Kabbalah. So, what does that cover? How does lunar astrology connect to the Kabbalah?
Okay, so basically, we first need to understand why lunar, because what happens is that the spiritual power of the moon is, according to Kabbalah, even when we think about receiving, the moon is the feminine aspect, the moon is the recipient, and the moon, the cycles of the moon are more, according to Kabbalah, are more connected to our essence, to our purpose, to what we call in Kabbalah our Tikkun. Tikkun, the literal meaning of the word is correction. It's, it's like karma, but it's not exactly the same. The idea of a correction means that each and every one of us, based on our previous lives, and the good things that we did and the mistakes that we've done, we come into this life with a tikkun, with the correction to make. A correction means both things. It means to do something for others with our talents, like you and I do right now, right? We do something that is aligning with our purpose. We're doing something that is aligning with our talents and our gifts in this life. So this is a part of a tikkun. When we're correcting the world, or we're doing things that we're meant to do, we're doing it, of course, for ourselves because we get a lot of energy from that, but we're actually contributing to the advance of the world. So a tikkun has a few different aspects to it. It has what I'm here actually to correct. So let's say if in a past life I was not opening up to people so well, I was more closed. In this lifetime, my work will be to open up, to do work of intimate connections with people. It can be that I'm amazing in public speaking, but I don't like to show vulnerability, right? So we learn through the planets, through the energy, through the moon sign, actually what those are. What is my strength in this lifetime? Where am I supposed to go? To understand that when I do my tikkun, when I work on my tikkun, I'm actually bringing fulfillment that is a long-lasting fulfillment. Not like, I just had the cheesecake. I felt very fulfilled when I ate it. Afterwards, less, right? But when we do our tikkun, our correction, and our purpose, the long-lasting energy is created, and then it really brings happiness into our lives. You want me to mention other things that we're gonna talk
Yes,
about?
please. I love this. I love this. I'm so excited to take your class very soon. So yes, please.
Thank you. And I'll tell you something, it's very funny because as we talked a little before, I'm a Leo and my hair totally gives it away. I know.
I love your hair. I love it.
Thank you. It's a very interesting thing because as a Leo, it wasn't ever my natural inclination to do things like astrology. I was very almost like, oh, okay, that's what you believe in. I was almost like more scientific, more realistic, more, come on, don't tell me, show me type of person. When I got into astrology, actually through my studies of Kabbalah, and I realized how much it gives and how much it improves my life, my desire was to go on and teach it to other people. And, as a Leo, I wanted to tell everybody that amazing wisdom and truth. And what I wanted doing this class, I really want to take you guys, the students, through a process of, first of all, understanding that we are all here to go through a life lesson. It's all lessons. Nobody came here to suffer in this lifetime. And I know that a lot of times people have all kinds of different beliefs that are related to past lives, to how they grew up, to, of course, yes, their influenced by the planets or the star, which is the sun, right? We have different beliefs that are influencing us. So sometimes people will come and tell me, I don't know why my life is hard or difficult, or there's always something falling on my head. And I will say, it's not that you're influenced. The stars, the signs are showing us what are your deepest beliefs. So if you believe that in order for you to be a good person, you need to be a sacrificer. For instance, if we look at Pisces, Pisces believe that for me to be connected to somebody, I need to make the ultimate sacrifices. Why? It's a belief. You don't have to believe in it. And what I want to take you, one of the things we're going to talk about in the class is the bottom belief of every sign. What is the deep, deep place that, we're going to talk about it more. But for instance, if we look at Scorpios are people that, yes, you will say they can be controlling or manipulative. But where is it coming from? What is the deep, deep belief of the Scorpio? You want to hear what it is? They actually, according to Kabbalah, they're the only sign of the zodiac that for sure, no doubt, has always the understanding between good and evil. They always understand what's the right thing to do. Well, they don't always listen to it. And because they don't always listen to it, they create a sense of, I deserve punishment. I deserve to be not receiving my needs. And when a Scorpio feels that they're not going to receive what they need, they're going to try to control and manipulate and do everything to receive. So the Scorpio understands, actually, my issues are because somewhere I really believe that I need to be a saint. I need to be a saint or else. So when we do that, when we understand the bottom belief, why certain signs of relationships issues more than other signs, because there is a belief that is the core belief of the sign. So this is like one of the things I'm going to talk about. Do you want to ask me anything about it?
Well, it sounds so incredible. I'm really looking forward to learning from you. As you're talking, I'm curious, like, how did you become an astrologer? How did this path find you?
So it's perfect even how you asked it, because it did find me. After somebody literally asked me, what sign are you? And I was like, you believe in that stuff? And then I still was, I was a little surprised, but I said, okay, let me look into it. If it's something real, I'm all for it. Of course, the first thing I learned was about Leos, and I was fascinated. I was like, no way. I thought that it's just me, or I thought it's just in my control or my choices. And then I slowly started learning, and I started just learning a lot on my own. I was reading a lot, books and all kinds of Kabbalistic materials, and with teachers. And I had a teacher in Israel I studied with. And the funniest thing was that I was more thinking about teaching it. I wasn't so thinking about working one-on-one. I am a Leo. I was thinking more big, And then I used to work at the Kabbalah Center at the time, and they asked me, you're so good at it. Why don't you meet people personally? And I'm like, no, I want big.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
When your calling is there, and I knew
that
one of my purposes in this lifetime is to empower people and to bring truth to people, I realized you can't escape your tikkun. You have to do it. And really, I agreed to it, and I started doing it, and my life had changed. And I realized that even though I was thinking more big, sometimes what we think, and I'm doing the big stuff too, But I feel that the real fulfillment, the real powerful connection that you can get is when you do the one-on-one readings. And I've done about 10,000 readings since I started, probably even a little more by now. But when you do something that comes from your soul, and I bet you know exactly what I'm talking about, it energizes you. So I can do readings the whole day, and people will tell me you're probably exhausted, and I'm going, no, I'm actually ready to party, because you receive so much. Kabbalah is receiving. If you do something that exhausts you, that you don't feel energized in, even if it's work that maybe it's you don't feel it's your purpose work, you can still make it purposeful. And that's an important thing to understand. If I'm tired or exhausted and don't feel energized, something needs to change there, you know?
Yeah. You're such an amazing speaker. I love it. I was also thinking as you were talking that one thing I've come to understand is that sometimes the vision that we have, we think is so big, is so like grand, and oh, we really want that. Sometimes from the perspective of the universe or like God, or I like to call love and wisdom, sometimes from that perspective, it's actually very small for us. That sometimes there's a higher, more loving vision for our life. And it's almost as if we need to get what we think is so big out of the way to align with something even greater. And you were just mentioning, like, I appreciate so much that you were bringing like me into it. Like, Nadiya, you know what I'm talking about. Because I remember being a child, and really what I wanted was to inspire people. And the only woman at the time who really had any kind of platform was Madonna. And so I thought that I needed to be Madonna in order to inspire people to have a platform. And I tried that for a long time, and it never felt right. Like it just never was the path for me at all. And I remember my Saturn return happened, Pluto conjuncted my moon, my sixth house moon, and I realized that I am not Madonna. And the world already has a Madonna. She's doing a great job being Madonna, right? I was telling you earlier, your look right now is giving us like 80s Madonna vibes, right? You're looking so Leo, so fabulous. But I remember thinking that, okay, the world already has a Madonna. Maybe it could use a Nadiya Shah. And I had no idea who that was. And I mourned for a year. I mourned the loss of what I thought I was supposed to be. And it was during that year that astrology just became this lifeline for me. It became hope for me. And now I think about my life and I think, oh goodness, my life is so great. It is like so much better than whatever I thought being Madonna was going to be for me, because of who I am and what I value and what I need. Like I need my freedom. I need to be able to have space and quiet and isolation. I need to have a sense that I'm giving hope to people. I need a sense of agency and independence in my own life. I need to, like, if I don't want to work out, because I don't really work out very much lately, right? If I don't want to, I should be able to. I need to be anonymous sometimes. I really need that sometimes, to be anonymous. I live in Mexico, and one of the things I love about Mexico is that not as many people know me. When I'm in an American city or a Canadian city, you know, maybe 2-3 times a month, somebody will walk up to me and say, Nadiya Shah, you know, and I love it. I love it so much, but it's also really, really nice to be anonymous and to just live my life. And that's something Madonna doesn't have. And so that's just one of the differences, right? So I love how you mentioned that, you know, it's quite incredible how, and I think about it now, I thought being Madonna was like so big and the greatest I could ever be was to be Madonna. But that was so small in comparison to what was actually going to give me peace, what was actually going to allow me to be myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, I love what you said, how you have to sometimes mourn that place that maybe you thought you're supposed to be. Or, and a lot of times, even in astrology, I'm sure you see it yourself too, that people think my life's purpose, for instance, is to make money or to have a career. And actually, the most important thing they're here to do is to raise a family. Or some people think opposite. I want to be a little housewife, just please everybody. And actually, this woman's purpose, I don't want to sound chauvinistic, but many times I see it with women that look for somebody to take care of me. But actually, no, if you go there, which for you sounds like the biggest thing, because I don't want to work. I want somebody to take care of me. But actually, that's going to be a place of misery for you. And I'll tell you, it's very interesting because, I've seen Madonna quite a few times in my life. And it's funny you said what you said, because many times when I would look at her, she would come to the Kabbalah center and I would look and I would say to myself, I feel pain because she doesn't really know who is really her friend, who is really, who is there with her because she's Madonna, and who is there with her because it's her, because it's really her. So just as but for her Leo self, it works, and that's what she wanted, and it's very important for her to stay relevant. But it's like you said, at the day that she's not going to be relevant, it's a devastation. It's a life of constant chasing. And for some people, the work is to actually seek for a more balanced existence. So the chart will give us also that direction. I want to just mention that we're going to talk a little bit about the Hebrew calendar, because the lunar cycle is the cycle of the Hebrew calendar. The Hebrew calendar, just to give a brief, it's not about being Jewish or being Israeli. It's really about looking at the months as a cycle by the moon, okay? The year still goes by the sun. So, for instance, Passover in the Hebrew calendar will always fall in the spring. It has to happen this way. So basically, the calendar we're gonna, again, it's not such a big deal. You can go online and find your Hebrew birthday even on in English. It's not a problem. But we're gonna look into the Hebrew calendar, and the coolest thing is that some of you that listen might have a different sign in the Hebrew calendar. So some people can be, let's say, an Aries, and in the Hebrew calendar, there'll be a Taurus. And we need to know that it's a very important factor that we need to add to the chart, because the Hebrew sign really shows in a very deep level the Tikkun in all its aspects, but also it gives gifts. It has gifts. So let's say if somebody's sign in the Gregorian calendar is a Libra, and in the Hebrew calendar they're Virgo, the Virgo is there to actually assist the chart. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Hebrew calendar too. We're going to talk about certain dates, because as I mentioned, Passover, there are different holidays throughout the year that most people will say, oh, Rosh Hashanah, it's the Jewish holiday, or Yom Kippur is the Jewish holiday, right? But it's not about being Jewish. It's not really a Jewish holiday. It's a Jewish, No, I'm joking. It's considered the New Year's of the Jews, but really it's a window. It's an energetic window. So even the new moon is the beginning of the spiritual month, the Hebrew month. So even that has a meaning. The full moon energetically means something. So if somebody is born in one of those windows, it means something about them. We're going to get into that too, to understand why certain people will, hey, but why do I even have it? Why am I like that? I don't understand it from the chart. The Hebrew birthday, if it's a holiday or if it's a Saturday, the Sabbath, different days like that are very powerful points of energy. So those points would indicate even more about you.
So thank you. I'm so excited. I mean, I'll tell you, I'm very, very excited just based on some of the things you talked about just now. What I'm hoping is I'm going to try to get some links for people, and I'll link in the description below so that they have that information handy for your class. The other thing I was thinking when you were talking just now is that when I was growing up, I remember being a little girl and saying to my mom, Mom, what religion is right? And she said, that is not for us to know. What we do know is that every religion teaches us to be a good person, to be kind to each other. So if you are a good person, if you're kind to people, if you're loving to people, you are a part of every religion. And that's really how I was raised and how I lived. We were part of a very small South Asian community in Canada. And the main religions in the South Asian community are Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, and Christian. And I remember growing up and going to ceremonies and events at all these different religious traditions. And then as I grew, I felt so open to be able to go. I've gone to like churches all around the world. I've gone to Kabbalah events, but I don't know as much about it. And I'm so excited now I get the chance to like almost like return to it in a way, to learn on a more deeper level. My knowledge is so basic. Like a lot of it is rooted in like tarot and how it's connected to the tree of life and things like that. But I'm really excited to get this whole other astrological perspective from you. And I'm just so open. I'm so ready, Rachel. So thank you so much.
Really exciting.
Yeah, me too. So I just want to let everybody know, remember, Rachel is coming to Synchronicity University, and you can sign up at synchronicityuniversity.com. This is publishing in the last days of April. And if you sign up before April is over, you can sign up for as low as just $5 a class, which is unheard of for a class like you just heard Rachel. You heard how brilliant she is. So that low rate is pretty much unheard of for such an amazing topic and so much knowledge and so much wisdom. And I'll be right there learning with all of you guys as well. So link is in the description below. And as I said, I will link to, where you guys can get ready to have those charts ready from the Hebrew perspective to understand your chart and bring that. Even if you don't know what it means or what it is just yet, don't worry, Rachel will explain it to you. Rachel, thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you for agreeing to teach at my school this coming month in May. I'm really excited. Like I said, this is the first time I'm meeting you. Yes.
I'm looking forward to see all of you guys and to excite you with new, amazing, eye-opening information that can really change lives.
Well, like I said, this is the first time I'm meeting you. I saw you online. I saw one of your media clips and I was like, oh God, I got to have her. I want her at my school. So I'm really, really excited. And thank you, of course, for this moment with you, this conversation, because I think just this conversation is going to help so many people, is going to inspire so many people. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching. And until we connect again, take care. Bye.